And good morning. Welcome to the Tom Barfield Show. It is a Wednesday, and we are so happy to have you with us. Man, it's going to be a great day. We got a lot to do. We are going fast, and we are going furious here on this Wednesday morning. We're presented by Toe King of Waco. Many thanks to Gary Hoffman and his team at Toe King of Waco. Locally owned, family-run business, and 24-hour emergency roadside assistance. Of course, we talk about it all the time. We know you don't want to have to need the roadside assistance, but if you do, then they can take care of you. And again, they got high caliber equipment. I mean, if you've got a Volkswagen, they can take care of you. If you've got an 18-wheeler, they can take care of you, and they're going to do it with family pride, and that's what they do at Toe King. Here's the number. Keep it handy in case you do need it. Roadside assistance, 254-666-5484. All right, on the show today, Jordan Cox, golf coach, UMHB. Flash will be with us. Baseball coach at Robinson High School, Chris Clemons, is going to join us. And then Kyle Yeomans from the Dallas Cowboys broadcast team will be a part of this hour. So it will be fast and furious. Now, we're going to do something a little different. Lark Smith, who normally sits over there, is not over there. He is in Hillsboro, Texas. Good morning, Lark. What are you doing in Hillsboro? Lark, we cannot hear your microphone.
It might help if I turn that little switch on. Yeah, okay. I got a softball game coming up at noon between Hill and Weatherford. So that's the reason why I'm at this beautiful facility.
There you go. That's a fairly new facility, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's only maybe 2 or 3 years being used now, and this just a really nice functional press box for softball here on the campus of Hill College.
All right. And you're literally up on a hill, by the way. I mean, if you have never been to Hill, you got to go see it, because literally Hill College baseball and softball facilities sit up on a hill. I mean, and when the wind blows out, the wind
a windy hill.
Out.
So yeah, it's a windy hill.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, early season games when the wind's out of the north, yeah, you expect a whole lot of. What was that one game we had 17 home runs in a doubleheader?
I mean, pop-up was getting out of the yard. Hey, so last night you did Temple. I mean, you did, Midway and Temple, right?
Yes, sir.
How'd that go for you?
We had a run rule game in 5 innings. Midway won that one 19-2.
Wow.
Scored 9 runs in the second inning, 9 runs in the third inning, 5 runs in the fifth. District rule requires 5 innings for a mercy rule.
And Eddie Kornblum obviously has a good ball club.
He's very pitching deep, which is something that from the 2 or 3 district opponents I've seen so far, they're not very pitching deep. If he's going 3-game series, he's going to have the advantage whenever it comes to postseason time.
Softball won, but I'm going to tell you, they were in a dogfight with Copper Cove until the end, but Midway softball did prevail last night.
Yeah, they won 15-6 was the final on that one.
Yeah, but it was tight until the end. I mean, then Midway pulled away. We had that game. We broadcast the game for our glad to have that going for us as well. Let's see, what else do we need to touch base on? Baylor softball defeated UTA last night. That was a nice win for Glenn Moore's team. And Baylor baseball picked up a well-needed win. They won 16-7 last night. It was a crazy game. I mean, Baylor was aggressive. I think they stole 7 bases, stole home, laid down some bunt base hits, took extra bases on ground balls. I mean, they went first to first base.
Could that be a confidence builder for that ball club?
No question. And I think if they play that way, of course, we all know you can't steal first. But
sure.
If people on it, and if they're athletic. I mean, they're incredibly athletic. This is the most athletic, fast team I've ever seen being around Baylor baseball. And I think last night they finally said, you know what, we're going to do this. We're going to push and drag. We're going to go first to third. We're going to steal. We're going to be incredibly aggressive. And they were. The one word I kept going back to was aggressive. They were aggressive in their plan. And they were good last night. I mean, they really were. And they knocked off Incarnate Word 16-7 in that ball game. So that was a good win. And now they're on to Houston Another 3-game set with the Cougars coming up Friday night. Make note, Saturday's game has been changed to 1 o'clock because Houston basketball may be, playing in the Elite Eight and all that good stuff. So they're gonna change the Saturday game from a night game to a 1 o'clock Saturday afternoon game. Quite frankly, I'm glad. I like day games on Saturday. And then Sunday afternoon as well. So, and Baylor playing 6 straight on the road in Big 12 conference play. All right, so that's kind of what's going on today. We got a lot moving here today, and we're glad you're with us. We are, again, presented by Toe King, and we're brought to you by Lake Waco Golf Club. I was out there yesterday, man. The course looks terrific. It really, really does. Lake Waco Golf Club, semi-private facility right there on the north side of the lake, and you can check them out at lakewacogc.com. That's lakewacogc.com. You want a tee time on the par 3? You want a tee time on the regulation golf course? 254-756-2161. That's the phone number. You can talk to Darren or any of those guys out at Lake Waco Golf Club, and they'll take great care of you. We're going to get a break right here. When we come back, we're going to talk golf. That's right, UMHB golf coach Jordan Cox. We know him as Flash, but we'll start with Jordan until he tells us we can use Flash. You know what? We're going to call him Flash anyway. Flash Cox is next on the program.
Morrison's Gifts, Waco's oldest family-owned gift store, wants to ask a question to the guys out there. Don't you just love gift giving? Does John Hart, Consuela, or Jellycat mean anything to you? If not, at Morrison's, we have your answers and your back. For 47 years, we have guided men and you ladies through the trauma of selecting the right gift for the right person. Come and see us at 4312 West Waco Drive in the Brazos Square Center, close to Jason's Deli. That's Morrison's Gifts, owned by a proud Baylor Bear.
Lake Waco Golf Club is a semi-private facility nestled along the north point of Lake Waco, one of the few facilities in Texas to have a full 18-hole regulation golf course as well as an executive 18-hole par 3 golf course. Plus, check out their bar and grill, which is open to the public. And if you're not a golfer, then enjoy time by the pool or even enjoy fishing around Lake Waco. Become a member today and call to book your tee time. Lake Waco Golf Club, where family and friends fun begins. Check them out at lakewacogc.com for more information.
Is your roof ready for the next Texas storm? Don't wait for a small leak to become a big problem. Call JK Roofing of Waco. Whether you need roof repair, a full replacement, or a professional inspection, JK Roofing has quality workmanship and dependable service you can count on. Locally owned and committed to protecting Central Texas homes and businesses. Call JK Roofing today for your free estimate and get the job done right the first time. Call JK Roofing 254-744-2211. JK Roofing of Waco. Strong roofs, honest work, and peace of mind.
Being stuck on the side of the road is stressful no matter what time it is. Toe King is here to help. A locally owned and operated family-run business, Toe King offers 24-hour emergency roadside assistance with trained operators and high-caliber equipment for damage-free towing. Toe King of Waco is a company you can count on. Call Toe King the next time you need help. Check him out on Facebook, and remember, slow down or move over.
Bumblebee Blinds of Waco and Temple is your one-stop shop for custom window treatment, transforming your vision into reality. Choose from a selection of shades, blinds, shutters, and curtains. Bumblebee Blinds stands behind our service and products, ensuring peace of mind with our trusted warranty. Call Bumblebee Blinds today to schedule your design consultation. Bumblebee Blinds, simplifying window treatments one covering at a time. BumblebeeBlinds.com.
And we're back. Welcome into the Wednesday program. We're busy. It's a crazy day. Hey, we're brought to you in part by JK Roofing, jkroofs.com. That's jkroofs.com. You can call them for an estimate, 254-744-2211. Doesn't matter if it's shingles or a metal roof. They'll take great care of you, and they just do a wonderful job. So, hey, it's springtime. You may want to go ahead and take care of that. jkroofs.com. Let's welcome into the program the golf coach at UMHB, Jordan Cox. Flash, good morning. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing great, Tom. Good to see you, man. Thanks for having me on the show, and congratulations on the launch.
It's been a little bumpy at times, but you've been in this industry,
Well, it's changed a lot, hasn't it? Since we started, we go all the way back to high school days of broadcasting when we were in a closet where it wasn't big enough to even change your mind. You couldn't turn around to change your mind because there wasn't enough room in there to do that.
Yeah, it had a flamethrower of a signal, but it had a closet for a studio. You're right. Hey,
Yeah.
that's where I want to start. Thumbnail sketch. How did you get from Waco, Texas, broadcasting on a local radio station here in Waco to the golf coach at UMHB? Because it is an interesting journey.
It's a long one too, and I know you don't have enough time for all of it. I don't know if I could do a Reader's Digest synopsis of all of it or not. But hey, while I'm telling you that quick story, I did want to say this. I wanted to say a public thank you to Lark Smith. Lark is the reason that really I was able to get into the television side of things when I started sportscasting. I got a job in 10th grade through a high school project, and part of that internship that particular week, I went with Mr. Fallon for the first part of the week and Lark for the second part of the week, and got the job in radio. Dave South hired me at KWTX FM back in the days when it was elevator music. Mm-hmm. And eventually, when I was in college, I guess it was my third year of college, I actually got the position, I guess, that Lark vacated. But Lark was always so helpful. And Coach Tusa was on your show yesterday. I got to watch, and he talked about that game at Beaumont Abear down there in spring. That was the first time I was on a broadcast full. I had done stats, and I would do those stats at halftime and things, so I'd been on the air. That's the first game I ever did. And I know Lark didn't ask anybody. He just let me do it. And I'm always grateful. And Lark was one of my heroes and still is. And I appreciate you, Lark, for letting me do that.
Thank you very much, Flash. I do appreciate that. And that was a very fun game. I believe that was at Butler Stadium down in the Houston area where they played Beaumont Abear. Got their butts kicked, but it was still a lot of fun.
Yeah, I remember it was 35-0 at halftime. I don't remember much after that. But I know they started a great win streak after that for several years in a row.
Certainly did.
Yeah, then into the television side of things through college and for a number of years. And so since high school, I've been doing some sort of broadcasting one way or the other since 11th grade. And I still do our basketball for men and women here and help with our football. And so it's just been a great journey. I've been in full-time ministry in a couple of different places where I did sports ministry, was doing radio as well in the Amarillo and Panhandle area. So I've got to see those schools out there. And then we were in South Carolina for a bit, and then in Arkansas for a couple of different venues and trips there where I did Shiloh Christian athletics, which is kind of the Mary Hardin Baylor, I guess you will, of Arkansas football and things like that. That was a lot of fun. And I started coaching golf there. I had a student that was extremely good. Thankfully, I didn't mess her up. She got a full ride to Baylor. Sylvia Fredon offered her a scholarship, and Sylvia offered me a job as the assistant coach. Never even crossed my mind to be a golf coach. But I owe Sylvia and Doug for an awful lot as well, and they kind of got me into that. We moved back to Waco, and I've been here. I'm going on my 11th year here.
Talk a little bit about just the golf program at UMHB and how that and how you've grown that golf program and just where you are right now with your program.
Well, I wish I could take credit for all of that, but I'll tell you the legacy here is extremely strong. Randy Mann, you guys remember him from Temple High School days, perhaps. He was our athletic director until just a year and a half ago, I guess, when he departed and Dr. Sims came. But Randy Mann followed Matt Hickerson, who was here for a number of years and started the women's program here, actually. And now Jackie Ralston, of course, has the helm of the women's program here. And then Aaron Roddifer was here for 7 or 8, maybe even 9 years. And so with Aaron working here, Randy just retiring, and the three of us being pretty close friends, the last, nearly 30 years of the golf program are still right here on campus. And so that's been great. And we're very fortunate to have an administration with Dr. O'Rear as president, who is a big sports fan and a big supporter of our sport in particular. His son played at Baylor, and his daughter played on the national championship team here at UMHB. We've been very fortunate, and the new facilities that we have, Tom, it's a blessing off the charts. We've got a facility that just rivals anybody in the country with clubhouse and 2 indoor hitting bays and a Sam Putt lab. and a 12,000 square foot putting green right outside here in front of the building. And then just up the hill about 150 yards, we've got a lighted short game area with 2 bunkers and another 12,000 square foot short game area, 4 holes on the MAC practice course. And it's just been amazing. We've been very, very fortunate, and it's nice to be a part of the legacy one way or the other, for sure.
You mentioned facilities, and that's kind of the theme of UMHB. They're going to have championship facilities in every sport. I mean, it's amazing to look at the basketball arena, to look at the baseball, softball facility, the football stadiums is remarkable. I mean, it's if you're going in at UMHB, you're going all in.
That's exactly right, and that comes from the top down. Dr. O'Rear says that. I've heard him say it many times. His deal is, if we're going to do it and keep score at it, then why would we not want to be good at it? Otherwise, you're just kind of going through an exercise, right? And I think he's right. And I think you see that even when you drive onto the campus. We hear from almost everybody who visits, wow, the grounds are so nice and, everything's so well taken care of. It doesn't happen by happenstance. It happens intentionally. And he's the reason. He drives that. And I appreciate that. It's nice to be a part of a culture where the expectations are high. And it starts right there. And you can tell.
Tell us a little bit about your team. I know you got a tournament coming up, and I want to know about the tournament. I think you're going to Tennessee next week, but tell us a little bit about your team.
Well, we had a great fall. We had a historic fall, actually. We were ranked number 3 in the country at the end of the fall. We won 3 of our 4 events, and we're doing it with a relatively young lineup. The last couple of tournaments we played, we've had 3 freshmen and 2 sophomores playing in the lineup. We're ranked 7th this week. The new rankings come out today. In fact, they may come out during the show, but we're fortunate. We just have guys who are extremely intrinsically motivated. They want to do well. And so, having been in it some around all of it, coaches love that. I don't have to stand around and, do any of that kind of stuff to get them to do the work. They're doing that on their own. I'm the one that has to say, hey, fellas, it might be time to go back and read a book, or do some homework, that kind of thing, or let's go get something to eat because they put in that kind of work. And so it's really nice to be around young people who are motivated that way. And I think that's been part of our success. We have a number of them that are ranked in the top 50 or 60 in the country. And we have, I was looking back, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys on our team are ranked in the top 15 in the region, which encompasses the 13 western states of the U.S.
Real quick, tell us how the scoring works. You just mentioned 5 or 6 guys. Is it the top 4 scores? I mean, how many can you play in an event, and how many of those players' scores actually count towards the championship?
Yeah, every tournament's slightly different, but most of the time the formatting is you play 5 and count the low 4 scores on any given day. Our conference, the American Southwest Conference, happens to play 6 count 4 in our conference championship. So that gives one more student athlete the opportunity to participate. And the tournament that we're going to play in Tennessee, called the Greystone Classic, that's Southwestern from Georgetown. Trinity is going there. They're in the Southern Athletic Association, and that's where their conference championship is held. And then Willamette from the Pacific Northwest is also a top 15 or 16 team right now. They're coming down to play so that we can play a really difficult strength of field, but we're going to play 6 count 4 there as well. And occasionally teams will be able to have an individual medalist play just to help someone get a little bit more experience and exposure to the competition.
You mentioned that tournament, Jordan, and you mentioned several teams that are going from Texas. How do you determine your non-conference tournaments? How did you choose Tennessee for a non-conference event, so to speak?
Almost all of the college programs have, you're on your own trying to find out how you're going to do it. Every now and then there's a conference that has a kind of a circuit that they play, or a team pool they play, and they'll play 3 or 4 different events and determine their automatic qualifier as conference champion at the end of whatever format they have. In our conference, it's one tournament, end of the year. Whoever wins the tournament, kind of like basketball is going on right now, you win your conference championship and you're automatically in the NCAA, you get the AQ. This particular tournament in Tennessee, Southwestern and Trinity their coaches and I are very close. We actually set it up so that we could get a really strong field of 4 or 5 teams to help our strength of schedule. So in case one of us doesn't happen to win their conference and get that automatic qualifier, that the strength of schedule will be up and an at-large bid might be possible for any of the teams that go. And so that's kind of how it was birthed. And because Trinity and Southwestern are playing their conference championship there, it's a good opportunity for them to see the golf course about a month before they play it. And then we'll turn right around. Our conference championship this year happens to be at White Bluff at the old course, and Southwestern is hosting the West Region tournament there. And so we'll play it in a couple of weeks. And so that'll be kind of a win-win for all of us in that regard.
So honestly, this is kind of a big event for your program then.
It is. What we found out with the way the ranking system works now with Clipped over the last 3 years, it's extremely complicated, and I wish I could understand it. I just don't. It's all about strokes gained, and I just mostly tell our guys all the time, what we need to do is just go take care of our business. Let's play the best competition we can find, and let's go beat some of them, and let's let the chips fall where they may. But we know at the end of the day, you got to win your conference championship to know for sure you're going to go to the national championship. But if you can have a strength of schedule where you're playing those teams and you're holding your own with those teams, and we did this fall for sure, then you may have an opportunity at an at-large spot. And I looked up the other day. I happened to be on the RAC committee, which is the Regional Advisory Committee for the West Region this year. And we had our call the other day. I think there are 43 teams that will go to the national championship, and there are 7 at-large bids based on the number of conferences. And so there's 2 golf courses, and there's a lot of teams, and so you really need to make sure you're way up there because there's a good chance that a lot of good teams get left at home. It's happened to us a couple of times in my career here. We were number 11 or 12 in the country my first year here, and we didn't get an invite to the national championship because we didn't win our conference. We finished. There were 2 other teams ranked in the top 10 as well in our conference, and I just kind of did one of those cartoon. Went, wait a minute, we're number 11 in the country, and there's that many teams going, and we're not one of them. What have I gotten myself into?
All right, Flash, I appreciate your time. Go play well and safe travels to Tennessee. And man, it's great to see you. And I'll tell your mom and dad on Sunday hello.
Please do hug their necks for me. I haven't seen them in about 3 or 4 weeks, so I appreciate that. And again, congrats on the show, Tom and Mark. Thanks again for everything, and I look forward to seeing you guys really soon.
See you later. Appreciate your time. Jordan Cox, head golf coach at UMHB on the program. We're going to talk Robinson Rockets baseball. We're going to do that in just a couple of minutes. We're brought to you in part by Morrison's Gifts, 4312 West Waco Drive in the Brazos Square Shopping Center, right down from Jason's Deli. Guys, if you're shopping, well, hold it. Don't shop. Guys, buy. So if you're ready to go buy a gift for Mother's Day or a birthday or an anniversary or whatever the case may be, go see Sally and all the folks at Morrison's Gifts. They'll take great care of you. Mark may be hanging out in there, but you kind of get him out of the way and just go talk to his wife, Sally, and she'll take great care of you. Morrison's Gifts, 4312 West Waco Drive. And again, it's the Brazos Square Shopping Center right down the strip center from Jason's Deli, and tell them we sent you by. We talked to Chris Clemons. We do that next on the Tom Barfield Show. Since 1996, Double R Old Fashioned Hamburgers at 18th and Herring has been serving Waco's best burger. There's nothing better than a delicious burger cooked just the way you like it, with garden fresh toppings on a buttered bun. Add tots, fries, curly fries, or onion rings for a perfect meal. So what are you waiting on? How about Double R Old Fashioned Hamburgers today? Double R Old Fashioned Hamburgers is open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. until 4:30 p.m. and Saturdays from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. Double R Old Fashioned Hamburgers. And don't forget to ask about Double R's catering. Being stuck on the side of the road is stressful no matter what time it is. Tow King is here to help. A locally owned and operated family-run business, Tow King offers 24-hour emergency roadside assistance with trained operators and high-caliber equipment for damage-free towing. Tow King of Waco is a company you can count on. Call Tow King the next time you need help. Check them out on Facebook, and remember, slow down or move over. Family owned and operated, Jasper's Barbecue is serving up Texas-style barbecue meats and sandwiches and all the fixins. Enjoy mouth-watering brisket, ribs, pulled pork, and don't forget the potato salad and barbecue beans. Located in Waco on Elm Street, right off of I-35, open Tuesday through Saturday 10 until 2 or until the food runs out. Stop by today and enjoy the best barbecue around. Voted one of the best barbecue joints by Texas Monthly. That's Jasper's Barbecue in Waco. You won't leave hungry.
Morrison's Gifts, Waco's oldest family-owned gift store, wants to ask a question to the guys out there. Don't you just love gift giving? Does John Hart, Consuela, or Jellycats mean anything to you? If not, at Morrison's, we have your answers and your back. For 47 years, we have guided men and you ladies through the trauma of selecting the right gift for the right person. Come and see us at 4312 West Waco Drive in the Brazos Square Center, close to Jason's Deli. That's Morrison's Gifts, owned by a proud Baylor Bear.
And we're back. We are brought to you in part by Benchmark Construction. Man, David and his team do a great job over there. You can check them out at benchmarkc3.com to learn more. That's benchmarkc3.com. They do construction, reconstruction. You know, if there's if you had a water leak or something like that, heaven forbid, they can certainly take care of those type of things as well. They do a great job with that. Right now, I think they're doing some hotels all across the country. They don't just work here in the Waco area. They work all over the place. So check them out. Great people. They do a lot of things in the community, and you know, they don't ever take credit for it. They just do it. They just help out in the community. So great folks. David and his team do a wonderful job. BenchmarkC3.com. All right, let's talk some high school baseball. Let's welcome into the program Chris Clemons. Clem, good morning. How are you, buddy?
Hey, Tom. How are you, man? I appreciate you having me on. And again, I'm going to echo what everybody says. Congratulations on the show. It's outstanding to get information on local high school, college sports, and from somebody that's number one, a friend of mine, and somebody that's very knowledgeable of the area.
Hey, I appreciate it. Thank you. And I know Lark does too. Talk a little bit about your ball club. You won last night, opening up district play. This is really, really a good club, isn't it?
We started district last night. Our district can kind of be a gauntlet. We got 4 teams in this district that are quality, coached well. They do a great job on the field, and it will be a gauntlet, but I've got a group of seniors that have been with me for 3 years. They've really adjusted to the way we coach. They've adjusted what we ask of them. And then our secondary parts have fit right in and done what they needed to do. I know it's going to be a long season with the 4 quality teams we have in district. It'll be a battle every week, but we're looking forward to it, and I think our guys are ready to play.
You mentioned this district, and I know every coach on the planet says, man, we're in the toughest district in the state, but you really are in a high caliber quality district. And the teams that get out of this district are really going to be prepared to play beyond district. I mean, they're going to be battle
This
tested.
is kind of the old District 17 3A for the old timers, number one in football, and the baseball carries through. China Spring obviously has made numerous runs with the state title. Lorena's had state titles in the past, and they got a great group. And Gatesville has a group just like I do of seniors, been together for 3 years and have been in the playoffs all 3 years. And they've made longer runs than we have. But all the teams in our district will be battle tested and ready to go, even though our connecting district is very tough with Salado and Lampasas. There's some good teams. So there'll actually be some great first round matchups that will probably run deep into the playoffs if we win those matchups.
You talk about your seniors and talk about these kids. 4A and below really is a unique situation. You're sharing these athletes. I mean, some of these guys are track guys. Some of these guys were in the basketball program. A lot of these guys were in the football program. A lot of them are in, one-act play. Whatever. There's a unique challenge, is there not, in sharing athletes?
It can be, but the staff we have here, all the coaches work so well together. We understand the goal at the end of the day is to get these kids successful in whatever they want to do. We just try to reiterate to them, if they want to be a multi-sport athlete, that they're going to put in the extra work. I want to sit here, and I'm a defensive coach in football, and I've got 4 defenders that were either all district or huge contributors to us on defense that are my main players every Tuesday, Friday. I mean, I think it translates into toughness, being able to deal with adversity, and just handle things when they're not perfect. The way the coaches work together, the last two coaches I've had here, just going back a couple of years with Coach Lancaster and Coach Brown, they've been very, very accommodating to what I might need because they know I'm accommodating to them. Coach Williams with basketball, guys want to play basketball. With the basketball season running a week later, we understood what needed to be done in both sports so we can try to both be successful. Anybody wants to go to the track, they're more than welcome to go. Love to have athletes that want to compete. And on the track, it is you against a stopwatch and you against one person. So the more they can do in that aspect, the better all-around person they become, and I think a better athlete they become.
Talking with Chris Clemons, the head baseball coach at Robinson. Chris, I realize it's a team sport, but talk about some of those kids on your club, maybe some of those seniors that are leaders and really kind of guide this club, because we all know that the coach coaches, but it really is the players' team.
Well, I've got a group of guys, and I try to express to them, hey, I can make a team good. My coaching staff, which is unbelievable, can make a team good, but the players taking accountability is what makes it great. And I've got a handful of seniors that are leading us up. It makes my job easy. I've got a little left-handed pitcher that's been pitching for me for 4 years. I gave him a chance as a freshman in the middle of the year, and he's run with my ace all 4 years, named Caden Burks. Competitive little guy. He's committed to a D3 down in Houston. My shortstop, who was our starting free safety, and anybody that watched us play football know he could make an impact on the football fields, committed to Temple College. And that's Cason Helpert. He's also these guys are also in the top 10% of their class. They do everything right. A little competitive catcher who's not any bigger in a minute, but if you saw him on the football field, he made an impact also, named Landon Arms. Our running back, Evan Moreno, who's a senior. He's our center fielder, kind of patrols the outfield for us. And starting center, Caden Coe. He's my first baseman, 4-hole hitter that does a lot of good things. It's just nice to see these guys being successful at multiple things.
Talking with Chris Clemons on the program. Kyle Yeomans from the Dallas Cowboys broadcast team is coming up in a few minutes here on the show. We're going to continue talking about the draft and get you ready for that. Chris, you mentioned your staff a few minutes ago. Talk about those guys. And I mean, because obviously you got, 3 teams that you're trying to put on the field with a couple of JV groups in your varsity group?
We do have 3 teams. Very few teams or schools around here keep 3 teams. They'll usually cut down to where it's just 2 teams, or the number of kids that want to play, I want to give an opportunity. So we have 2 JV teams. Coach Brian Kent, who was the head coach here, got out of it to see his kid grow up. Now that he's in high school, he wanted to get back into it. I added him as a coach on my staff last year, and that's invaluable. He has been where I'm at. He understands what I'm trying to do, and he makes my load a lot easier. Then I've got the arms. John Arms, who's been with me since day one. This is my 7th year. He is my right-hand man. He kind of knows how I think now. He understands when I have issues. He has held me up in some times where I wanted to lay down. He is a great friend, and he knows exactly what I need. And luckily, this is the first year his son, who was a senior my first year here, and he went on and played 4 years of college baseball. Graduated, wanted to follow in his dad's footsteps, and they allowed me to hire him. He's been a great football coach and a great JV1 head coach and infield coach to help me out. So Brian Kent and the 2 arms, I'm very blessed to have not only the baseball knowledge, but the heart they have for kids is second to none.
You've played at every level, in fact, including the major league level. You've coached at just about every level, Division I and junior college, now in high school. Is coaching, or are there significant differences from the different levels?
There's some differences in the different levels. I mean, obviously, at the college level, you kind of get to pick your kids in the recruiting process. And I try at the high school level, I try to pass down some of the same values I looked at it as I was recruiting. I want accountability in these young men. I want young men that understand that baseball is fun and it is important, but it's not life. I want them to understand we're going to give everything we got when you're asked to give it. I want you to be coachable. But at the end of the day, life is bigger than baseball. I want them to understand that in today's society, in the world today, with the social media, everything a click away, that if you need help, find help, whether it's on the field, off the field, or whatever it might be. The high school level has been my favorite level. I think you can impact kids more. I think kids understand that learning to compete will help you in life, whether very few guys go from the high school level to the college level to play, and then even fewer go to the professional level. So they understand that the lessons they're learning here might help them be a better father, be a better husband, that kind of thing.
Awesome. Hey, thanks for the time. I know you're busy, and I know you got a game coming up on Friday. You got the Cadets again, right?
Got the Cadets again. We play the same team during the week.
Awesome. So Conley coming up on Friday. I guess it's at your place on Friday night?
It's at our place on Friday. We'll be here at 6 o'clock, just a varsity.
Yeah, get out and see some Robinson Rocket baseball. Hey, appreciate the time. We'll catch up with you later.
Thank you, Tom. God bless.
See you later. That's Chris Clemons. He head baseball coach over Robinson. Lark, you know him. He he's done it all. He played high school baseball at McGregor, went on and pitched at Texas A&M and pitched professionally, I think, with the White Sox and the D-backs and just baseball guy. You know that.
Yeah, well, I've followed his career since he was 15 years old. I coached a midway team of 14 and 15-year-olds, and he was the best pitcher that we faced all the way to Florida. Once we got past McGregor, we felt like we could win the state championship, and I even attempted to talk him into transferring to Midway, because by the time he had been a junior in high school, they would have had state championship team if they had just one more pitcher, and he would have been that one more pitcher, would have been a great pitcher.
Good stuff. Coming up, and I'm going to apologize to Kyle here when we get him on the air. We're running a little bit late, but this is fun, man. I kind of like this. This is moving fast and furious. We're brought to you in part today by Waco Body Men Company. And look, at Waco Body Men, they can help you take control of your health with advanced wellness, longevity solutions that are all designed to help your body perform, recover, and thrive. And great folks at Waco Body Men. Check them out at wacobodymen.com. We're going to have Thomas Wenzel on the program, I think, tomorrow and talk a little bit about Waco Body Men and what it can do for you. So appreciate Waco Body Men. All right, Kyle Yeomans of the Dallas Cowboys is next.
When disaster strikes, you need a team you can trust. At Benchmark, we specialize in disaster recovery, construction, environmental remediation, and indoor air quality solutions. With over 30 years of experience, our experts provide forensic architecture, engineering, and environmental consulting to ensure every project is handled with precision and care. From damage assessment to full reconstruction, Benchmark delivers technical expertise and an unmatched client experience every step of the way. Visit benchmarkc3.com to learn more.
At Waco Bodyman Company, we help you take control of your health with advanced wellness and longevity solutions designed to help your body perform, recover, and thrive. Experience the power of red light therapy with our full body bed design to reduce inflammation, improve circulation, support skin health, and recharge your body at the cellular level. Step into our hydrotherapy room featuring a dry sauna, polar shower, and hot tub. Book your tour today. Waco Bodyman, open 7 days a week in downtown Waco.
Being stuck on the side of the road is stressful no matter what time it is. Tow King is here to help. A locally owned and operated family-run business, Tow King offers 24-hour emergency roadside assistance with trained operators and high-caliber equipment for damage-free towing. Tow King of Waco is a company you can count on. Call Tow King the next time you need help. Check them out on Facebook, and remember, slow down or move over.
Is your roof ready for the next Texas storm? Don't wait for a small leak to become a big problem. Call JK Roofing of Waco. Whether you need roof repair, a full replacement, or a professional inspection, JK Roofing has quality workmanship and dependable service you can count on. Locally owned and committed to protecting Central Texas homes and businesses. Call JK Roofing today for your free estimate and get the job done right the first time. Call JK Roofing 254-744-2211. JK Roofing of Waco. Strong roofs, honest work, and peace of mind.
All right, we're back, and we're talking sports. Now we're going to shift gears. We're going to bring in Kyle Yeomans of the Dallas Cowboy broadcast team. Kyle, let me first say thank you, and let me secondly say I'm sorry we're running a few minutes late. Man, it's fast and furious in this stuff.
Yeah, especially when you've got Robinson High School baseball represented. I feel like you gotta make room for the superstars on this show for sure.
Good stuff there. Hey, appreciate your time as always. Talk to me a little bit about Pro Day. Baylor just held their Pro Day on Sunday. We're this close to the draft. How significant are Pro Days in helping guys, A, move up, B, maybe move out, or C, maybe even, who maybe has slipped under the radar? Is that really a piece to this thing?
It's absolutely a piece. I think it's different and it carries different weight for different schools and different prospects and different elements of the NFL draft. For instance, I was talking to a Cowboy scout just yesterday morning, and he said that at one of the pro days here in Texas that he went to, it was a smaller school. He found a small school wide receiver that the NFL world hasn't even found yet and hasn't really seen yet. And the only people that were in attendance were a couple of members from the Cowboys scouting department. And so the Cowboys feel like they have a little bit of an under the radar gem of a wide receiver that had an incredible background, didn't transfer out of the small school, mostly because of the academic structure. And he stayed there and was a very productive and very talented wideout, despite having multiple P4 offers during his time in college. So for these small school guys, it matters because they aren't going to get invited to the Senior Bowl and the Combine and some of these other draft process events. So the Pro Day might be their only opportunity to really show out for these NFL organizations. And that's where you start seeing some of the back end guys on day 3 that maybe aren't the biggest talked about prospects, but they show out and they end up being one of the better players in the NFL. We've seen that time in and time out. For the bigger schools and the bigger prospects, it's mostly just information gathering that can move them up and down a board for a particular team. Let's say a team goes to the Combine and they get certain measurements on a guy, but he doesn't run and he doesn't do drills. Well, I want to see you, especially if you have either an injury in the past or you have some technical concerns on film. So at Pro Day, they can do that with their own coaches, with their players around them, and in a place that they're comfortable and in their own environment and their home field. So these Pro Days do have that element. And then you've got guys like Jermon McCoy, the corner out of Tennessee, who is now 18 months removed from a major knee injury. He did not play in the 2025 season, but his 2024 tape was about as good as anybody in the cornerback class, both last year and this year, and he would be highly regarded as the top corner draft if it wasn't for the injury. Did not participate with anything on field at the NFL Combine, so the Pro Day is his last opportunity to show teams, hey, I'm healthy, I'm ready to go. And it's not going to be a redshirt year for one of the top corners in the NFL draft. And he's trying to find his way back inside the top 10 because that's probably where his tape is worthy. It depends on what teams feel about the injury and the injury risk moving forward.
Visiting with Kyle Yeomans of the Dallas Cowboys. You mentioned injury just a minute ago, and I'm curious. Walk me through this if you can. How can a guy be healthy in one camp and not healthy in another? You know who I'm talking about. Max Crosby goes, flies out and he's not healthy, and they send him right back, but all of a sudden he's healthy. I mean, how does that work?
So it could be a number of things, and we don't have the specifics, or at least it's not public, the specifics of what failed the physical from Baltimore and why he ultimately ended up elsewhere. What we do know is that the Baltimore doctors, and remember, each team, all 32 teams, have these doctors that they know and they trust, and they're going to they pay them a lot of money to use their opinion and their opinion only in order to make a decision on the future of a player. So Max Crosby specifically isn't necessarily hurt right now. It might be a degenerative issue that could affect him down the line, and something that the team doctor in Baltimore said, he's a good player. He's a hell of a prospect. However, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that he's going to be available in 3 to 5 years because of what this knee looks like now. He might be that player now, but if you're going to spend 2 first-round picks, if you're only going to have him for 1 or 2 years, it's not not necessarily worth the investment. Whereas the Raiders, they've already invested in him. They've already signed him to a contract. They already had him in the building, so they have to deal with him now on and over the next couple of years, whether that happens or not. It's all projections and guesses toward the future. They're educated guesses, and there's medical science behind it in those guesses. But even Dallas, their team doctor took a look at it and said, we're not worried. We're not willing to give up that type of draft capital, knowing that this is something that's going to be a part of the conversation moving forward.
Visiting with Kyle Yeomans from the Dallas Cowboys. Kyle, if you've been around for 5 minutes, you know that, priority one is the rebuild of the defense, or, the reconstruction of this defense. And obviously you're not going to rebuild the entire defense through the draft. That's just not going to happen. So walk us through the reconstruction of this defense, from free agency to players from within the organization to the draft. I mean, how do you see this rebuild of this defense, from A to Z? How do you see this unfolding?
Yeah, A is Christian Parker. They wanted to get a defensive coordinator that they trusted, that brought in a new level of knowledge, a new level of possibility, and that's what they did by hiring Christian Parker and then letting him then go to step B, which is hire his staff. And he did. He remade most of the staff on the defensive side of the ball. It's a completely different look over there. And then step C is, how are you going to piece together the puzzle that's already in place? And one of the moves that they made was Maris Leofau. All right, Maris Leofau, you've always been kind of an off-ball linebacker, maybe even a middle linebacker, a will linebacker. He's played all around that second level. Well, now you're an outside linebacker. You're an edge rusher. And they feel comfortable doing that. I know in talking with Brian Schottenheimer, he's excited about that possibility as well. So that was one of the first steps. The other step is, let's see who can play in a possible 3-4 front. It's not only going to be a 3-4 front. He's mentioned multiple times they are going to play multiple defenses. So, but you got to have some level of scheme and some level of identity. And it feels like their identity wants to be based in a 3-4 front. So a guy like Osa Odigizua, there's not really a spot for a 6'2", 280-pound defensive tackle in a 3-4. You need outside linebackers. You need bigger defensive tackles on the interior just to be able to hold multiple gaps at a time. And even though Osa Odigizua was extremely productive, he was one of the highest pressure rates at defensive tackle in the NFL the last couple of years, he just doesn't fit the scheme and fit the system the same way that Christian Parker wanted to. So with that being the case, they wanted to shop and see if there were possibilities. If the value was high enough, they were going to make a trade. And ultimately it was San Francisco and possibly Matt Eberflus that went and got him with 92nd pick, and they pick up a 3rd round pick, which they didn't have a day 2 pick prior to that. So it knocked out 2 birds with 1 stone for Dallas. They were able to move on, get some value, and also add the second day of their draft class, which they didn't have previously. So all of that to be said, they maneuvered this roster even before making additions like Jalen Thompson, like Rashawn Gary, the versatility of these players, Otito Ogbonnia and JP Locke, and some of these other guys that are going to play in the defensive side of the ball. They are versatile players that can play multiple positions and play inside or outside or wherever they end up being on their defensive alignment. So Christian Parker knows what he's kind of been putting together, and that's been the revamp of the defense. It's a different scheme, different players, different positions a lot of the time, and there's a different man leading the whole charge.
What does Derion Kendrick bring to the table for the Cowboys?
I haven't really been able to dive into it enough with Kendrick, and I know they have kind of a type whenever it came to the cornerback spot, and I'm even blanking on Kendrick specifically. You kind of stumped me there. Did they sign Kendrick? Was that something official?
I just saw that they were signing Kendrick. I don't know if it's done yet. The cornerback, and I'm curious.
From my standpoint, I didn't think it was done yet.
Okay, well, it may not be.
Yeah, and if that's the case, and they add a guy like that, then maybe it's something at the cornerback spot that he also played with a guy like Kobe Durant, who they just signed. And I really like Kobe Durant as a nickel corner, as an outside corner that can kind of bounce around back and forth. Darion Kendrick, I haven't dove into his stats yet, but he was a 5-star prospect out of high school. I mean, he's always kind of been a guy. Really liked him in the draft initially. But yeah, I need to look and see kind of where he fits into this mold after he was drafted to LA and played with the Rams the last couple of years.
What does your week look like? What does this period in the calendar look like for you? I mean, we're coming up on the draft. I mean, so what does your work schedule kind of look like within the Cowboy system?
Yeah, it's really interesting. The biggest thing for me right now is just getting ready for draft weekend and starting to piece together my board and finalize my board. I've watched a ton of film on all the draft prospects. And so, yeah, a lot of our other guys are the ones that handle the free agent signings and the new breaking news contracts and stuff like that. And then I kind of hit it on the back end because I'm trying to be on the forefront of the draft. And we just published our draft magazine, our Dallas Cowboys Star Magazine draft guide, which has 110 bios written by myself. My rankings from the middle of February back into February into March. And so they're a little bit timed because I do have rankings that ebb and flow on my own board as I learn more and see more about these prospects and maybe get a little bit better film, talk to others around the league, talk to those in the scouting department and kind of get a good look of it. So it's all draft all the time for me now that that's released and we've published the draft magazine. Now it's how can I find the best notes and find the best information for draft weekend, because I host all of our draft coverage on DallasCowboys.com and 105.3 The Fan. And if we go into that weekend, I want to have at least a note on any player that could be selected by the Cowboys. So last year, my board had 647 names, and I had notes, maybe not film and scouting reports and complete breakdowns on each of the 647 names, but I had at least a note and something on the name. So if they ended up being picked and they ended up being in Dallas, I had something that I could talk about. So that's really my biggest goal right now.
And you also do a little other broadcasting, don't you?
A little bit, a little basketball. College basketball comes to an end right around conference tournament time. Sometimes I get a conference tournament. Sometimes I don't. This year I didn't. But I filled in and did some stuff with the Big 12 in studio while they had some guys out. And then the Texas Legends G League basketball, that comes to an end this week. The final game's on Saturday. So they didn't make the playoffs. So we're done with the season there. And then, yeah, it's baseball, softball. I've got a softball game tonight in Denton, Texas. ACU and North Texas face off in a midweek softball matchup. So I've got that one. And then, as I've mentioned with you on air before, got the TCU Baylor series in a couple of weeks, and then the Big 12 tournament in May. So it's it is a busy time of year, but this is I'm now on the downturn where it's not baseball, softball, basketball, and football and draft coverage all coming together like it does in February, March. Now I can just kind of focus on draft, baseball, softball, and we can kind of get it done there.
Kyle, thanks. Appreciate your time and appreciate your patience with us today.
It's all good. I'll see you again next week.
All right. Talk to you soon. That's Kyle Yeomans with the Dallas Cowboys. We take a break, and we're going to come right back in just a couple of minutes. Lark's going to get us caught up on some sports news, and we'll do that in just a couple of minutes. We're brought to you by Double R Old Fashioned Hamburgers, 18th and Herring. Man, we certainly appreciate David and Perry and all those guys for taking great care of us. Double R Old Fashioned Hamburgers, and we're back in just a moment. Well, I don't guess we're leaving. Let's bring Lark Smith in, and we'll just keep rolling. Now, maybe we'll just keep the train moving. Lark, what's going on with you?
Let me apologize for missing the break there. For whatever reason, my computer locked up to where I can't get to a break. So
Okay.
That's the reason why we had that little faux pas. Let's get to the local sports. What's going on? Let's see. Soccer. Midway loses in the area round last night on the girls' side to Wiley 4-1. La Vega, meanwhile, defeats Fort Bend Crawford 4-1, and they will take on Viter next. Lorena girls softball also won last night over Sweeney and LaGrange 3-0, and their next opponent will be Hardin Jefferson. On the boys' side, the Lorena boys will advance after a 4-1 win over West Columbia. They will take on Katy Freeman next, and that's going to be Friday in Bryan. The La Vega boys team needed overtime, but they too dispatched Fort Bend Crawford 3-2 in OT. That was in Madisonville last night. Their next opponent will be Lumberton. High school softball around the area last night. Midway over Cove 15-6. Temple loses to Harker Heights 7-6. It was Colleen Chaparral over Waco High 21-3. Belton defeated University 3-2. China Spring all over La Vega 28-2. Robinson defeated Conley 12-2. It was Gatesville over Lorena 16-6. And West defeated McGregor 10-4. Over on the high school baseball side last night, we mentioned earlier that Midway defeated Temple 19-2. Harker Heights keeping pace with Midway in that district with a 10-0 win over Bryan. Colleen Ellison defeated Waco High 15-4. University over Chaparral 2-1. Whitney defeated Rio Vista 18-5. It was Bosqueville shutting out Bruce Villetti 12-0, and Crawford over Moody 5-4. Big 12 baseball. We mentioned earlier that Baylor defeated Incarnate Word 16-7. In Southeast Conference baseball, this was Southeast versus Big 12. The Texas Longhorns went down to Houston, and the Cougars prevailed over the Longhorns 9-7.
That's a good
TCU
win. Is a good win for them because that's number 2 team in the country.
Absolutely. And then you had TCU playing at Dallas Baptist. TCU won that game 11-5. Texas A&M took on Houston Christian and won that game 5-4. Took a couple of softball games from yesterday in college level. Baylor defeated UT Arlington 8-0, and it was A&M over Sam Houston 18-3. There's junior college baseball and softball on tap for today. Baseball includes McLennan playing outside the conference this week. They are over in Mount Pleasant taking on Northeast Texas for a doubleheader today. Temple College at home against Cisco for a doubleheader. And the Hill Rebels are on the road. They are at Weatherford. Meanwhile, here where I am in Hillsboro, Texas, Weatherford is visiting the Hill Rebels, and Temple is on the road at Cisco. Tom, that's pretty much what is going on in the local sports world.
All right, let's just do a little housekeeping here on the fly. Is the computer still locked up? Or are we good?
Yeah, apparently it is still locked up. I cannot get it to move to the thing that I want it to move to. So I guess we're through.
We're going to call it a day then. And thank you for being with us. Thanks to all of our guests, man. It was fun. We really appreciate Kyle Yeomans, Chris Clemons, and Jordan Cox for being on the program. We'll do it again tomorrow, and let's see what we have coming up on Thursday. Thursday's program, we're going to talk golf with Jones Mitchell from the Lake Waco Golf Club, and our tip for tomorrow will be working out of the sand trap. So we did putting last week, so this week we're going to work on sand trap play, both hard sand and the soft fluffy sand. So we'll do that with Jones Mitchell. And then the voice of the Baylor Bears, John Morris, is going to join us. We'll talk Baylor athletics. We'll also talk about the John Morris Show right here on the Rogue Media Network. We'll do all that coming up on the program tomorrow. So for Lark and our entire team here, thanks for watching and have a great day.